Hi everyone, Dr. Nutt here. Let's continue to talk about aggression. And specifically, let's talk and look at some of the social situations that are really linked with contributing factors to why people behave aggressively. So let's take a look at this. When we consider social situations, we first have to look at the role of frustration and aggression. So the frustration aggression theory is really based on this idea about the perception that you're being prevented from reaching a goal. That's how one becomes frustrated. And when you are prevented from reaching a goal, this increases the probability of an aggressive response. Now, the closer we get, okay, the goal proximity, the closer we get, the more frustration we can experience. Like, let me give you an example. If you were 1 point away from an A at the end of a semester, and the professor did not give you that extra point, that would increase your level of frustration. Therefore, because again, you were so close to the goal. Okay, so that's another factor about frustration and aggression. And then the unexpectedness of frustration also plays a significant role. You know, if you're in a hurry and you're trying to get somewhere really important, like maybe you're about to jump on an airplane and fly somewhere, and if you don't hurry, you're going to miss your plane. Well, if you get out on 360 and there's a traffic jam, the unexpectedness of that increases your frustration, which makes you more likely then to be aggressive. Now, speaking of 360, let's talk about road rage and how that inevitably causes people frustration. And you know, there's some research um, that indicates 80% of U.S. drivers occasionally experience road rage. I don't know about you guys, but 80% sounds really high to me. And that was a study by the AAA Foundation for Traffic and Safety. If you think about how people act when they're experiencing road rage, I don't know if you've seen, uh, people send hand gestures, yell at other drivers, maybe get out of their car and confront another person, or even purposely, slam their vehicle into another car. I mean, 80%, that is significant. So, why do you think so many of us experience road rage? Well, again, it ties into the frustration aggression hypothesis. So really, what happens? Why would this man get on another person's vehicle in traffic? Well, the thing about it is when you are in traffic, or you're in a traffic environment, this is a really unique place. And something inside of us can actually come out in that environment when it doesn't come out in other places. And this is really based on Dwight Hennessy's research. He's a traffic psychologist. Yes, there is such a thing at Buffalo State College in New York. And really, we know that driving can really kind of create a dangerous situation. Again, because of the unique place of it. Our blood pressure rises, our hearts beat faster, our blood sugar levels actually spike when we're behind the wheel. And again, it even goes higher when we're in traffic jams. Okay, there's actually evidence that we have elevated risk of depression and anxiety among people that commute more than 10 miles a day. And if they're commuting more than 10 miles a day, again, they probably live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But what happens is these traffic jams or road rage really kind of sets the stage for conflict, that we may encounter. Now, some additional reasons why, this is such a unique place with road rage and traffic is because of the anonymity. It's a powerful force that can really promote reckless and inconsiderate driving. If nobody knows who you are, and you'll be gone in a minute, there's really no accountability. So that feeling that someone is anonymous can actually, is another reason why this is a unique environment. Another reason is territoriality. I don't know about you guys, but people get really territorial. Like, if you feel another car, another vehicle is invading your space, that's territoriality. If you sometimes people look at their vehicle as an extension of themselves. So you don't like it when people cut you off or they're getting too close to your car and things like that. Another reason why road rage occurs is because of flawed thought patterns, and we call those cognitive distortions. Oftentimes, a great example of a cognitive distortion is where you think you're the only really, driver on the road today that knows how to drive. That's overgeneralizing. Another, overgeneralization. If you believe a certain gender is not, good drivers, and then, you know, uh, people can really kind of catastrophize in their thinking, and they think, that they almost killed me. That's another cognitive distortion. Okay, and also, this whole idea that this frustration is really intersecting or is an intersection with your sense of fairness. If you think, again, this is not fair, how could someone get away with this? That can also increase your frustration. Now, not on my PowerPoint, but hostile attribution error is another reason why, when you think, again, or perceive someone as, behaving hostile towards you, that can bring out the worst in other people. So what are some recommendations? Basically, become mindful, of, you can only control yourself. If you're in a seriously dangerous situation, maybe you should call the cops. But really, if you practice mindfulness, maybe this can kind of help you, not be overcome with worry or tension in your body at the moment. Okay. Another helpful technique is deep breathing, and then also giving another driver the benefit of the doubt. So if somebody races by you, um, instead of going, oh, that person's crazy and engaging in name calling, just maybe, practice, saying, oh, they must be headed to the hospital because their wife's going to have a baby or something like that. Just give them the benefit of the doubt. And another important what to do is do not engage other drivers. So to talk about frustration, again, it does not always have to lead to aggression. Okay. So we can choose a different route, okay, to handle the frustration. We do know that it increases anger in people, so therefore we need to learn how to process the anger. Um, what I'm saying is frustration doesn't cause the aggression. And again, it doesn't always have to lead to the aggression. But what we do know is it increases the anger. Hence, we have to learn how to process anger and deal with anger. We do know that it increases readiness to aggress, but we can learn a different way. Okay? So when we think about frustration and the link to aggression, it really depends on a few things. Okay, it depends on the size and the strength of the person responsible for your frustration, the person's ability to retaliate, and again, how close is that person to you? Okay, and the likelihood of aggression is reduced when it's understandable, when it's legitimate, and it's unintentional. Okay. Now, as we finish up this discussion on the situational factors and aggression, I want you to be aware of what is known as the weapon effect or weapons effect. And this is the idea about how there's certain, again, triggers or situational factors that increase the likelihood of aggression. And as you look right here on your PowerPoint, there's with based on the weapons effect, there's an increase in aggression that occurs because of just the mere presence of a gun or a weapon. Okay. And on this next slide, you see that there are certain cues when, such as a weapon, that tend to increase the level of aggressiveness. Um, and this is based on a study. You can read more about it in your textbook, but there's an average duration of shocks administered by an angry subject, when there's an increase of this when there is a weapon in the room, okay, such as a gun, which is a significant trigger. Now, if there's a badminton racket or just like looks like a tennis racket, a small tennis racket, you see a significant reduction in, again, the average duration of shocks administered by the subject. So this concludes our discussion on situational factors and aggression. You guys have a great day.